Good day. This is the Elliott Wave Daily Update for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100 for Tuesday, December the 24th, 2024. And markets are closed. At least our futures markets are closed. I am still noticing that Bitcoin's still trading, commodities are still trading, precious metals are still trading, and I'm not sure the bonds are. The bond market may be all done, along with our equity market. I do think individual equities are still trading, but as far as the futures markets, we're done. So I'm going to go ahead and make this update. This again is just our daily update, and it's going to actually carry us through to Thursday. And so I'm going to start with the SPX, excuse me, with the S&P, not the SPX, that comes in the weekend. So on the futures market, a great day, straight up, basically, shortened hours. And so the market via the SPX, which is actually what I wanted to start with, the SPX closed significantly or nicely or strongly, whichever word you want to use, above that 6,000 level. And that's the level that I have been discussing and talking about, that if the S&P managed to get back above 6,000 and close above 6,000, which it now has done, it's going to raise the stakes that at least we are likely going to be going up in what I could term as an ABC flat for minor wave A of intermediate wave 4. Now, I want to quickly just review the alternate, which I'm not actually shifting over yet, although I have shifted some of the count that would allow for it. But the alternate would be is that this minute third wave actually completed up here, and this minute fourth wave is what now completed at that December 19th low. So with that in mind, we have those two, the alternate and the preferred. The preferred I'm leaving in place right now because we can get all the way up to 61.72, and that would be where wave C of a projected B wave, or just a C wave, no matter what, a C wave would be 100% at 61.72. The high that it, well, I'm not expecting it to break, but it could, would be 61.83. Actually, 61.85, excuse me. That's the high from the 6th of December, 61.85. And that's the all-time high. So with that all in mind, we've got a little bit more upside. So if I'm going to sit here in this C wave, I'm going to say 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We did wave 3 today. We come down maybe within Globex, which will start tomorrow, Christmas evening. We'll have a Globex session begin, and maybe it kind of comes off a little bit in a 4 there, and then we push up in that 5th. So we continue to have upside resistance, fib basis, and that would be for this B wave. Would be 61.15. So if we come back down and we go back up and we don't get any further than the 61.15, and I can count a clean 5 for wave C, well, then as they say, if the shoe fits, wear it. And so I would stick the B wave there and then be looking for C wave back down. And then again, the closer we get to the 100% mark, the closer that we'd be expecting the downturn, the C wave of this A, B, right, let me pull it up. See, there's the A, B, C structure, where, if we only get to 15, then we're likely going to break that low, but not by much. Not by much, to put in this initial ABC. Or under the alternative count, alternate, that this would be an ABC and it would be a minute 4. And with that in mind, here is the fib that would go along with that. So I don't want to clog this up. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this guy off so that we have a lot more that we can see how this is going to shape up. And so once again, nope, that's not going to work. So I want to start it right there, please. There you go. And up to the top of 1, and then over to the bottom of 4. So I will just check that real quick and make a little correction if I have to. Yep, I do. I'm a perfectionist on my levels, folks, so in case you didn't know that. So I'm going to put that right there. So here's what we have. 618 is 61.62. So that's right up in that area. So now we've got a little bit more, and that would be if this is 1 of C, 2 of C, 3 of C, 4 of C, 5 of C, definitely could fit and keep it within this ABC and then a minor A wave coming down here. All it really does, folks, is just extends this third or intermediate fourth wave. If that's going to still be my preferred, which it is right now, it just extends it out. And at least likely the B wave through the end of the year. Then we begin and we do a C wave down and we come within all of that price territory down below that we've previously discussed. Again, as this progresses, so we'll begin to update it on Thursday. We'll do it again on Friday for the weekend. Well, for the weekend, we'll do the weekly update. And then we have the beginning. We have 2 days, the 30th and the 31st. So again, a lot of this move is for that year-end finishing move on the 31st. But being that we are now above 6,000, in fact, that JP Morgan call side of their collar is at 6,055. So that would be the pin. That's the pin we'd be looking for on December the 31st. So we're very close to getting up and testing that today, with the close being 6,040. So again, 15 more points, and we're giving that a rattle. We're giving that a knock on the door. And it may go above it, which our indicators are suggesting that's what will happen. But we're looking for on the 31st for that pin to be back down at 60.55. And surely by that close on New Year's Eve, JP Morgan will have moved that collar, and then we'll know what the collar for March is going to look like. And it's going to remain interesting because we still have a lot of Elliott to fill in terms of if it is going to continue higher and go to a new all-time high. So in other words, if the alternate count is in force, and that would be that this is minute wave 3. So these go off. We haven't done them yet under the alternate count. And this ABC would be minute wave 4. And this is 1, 2, and we're in the midst of that third wave. But we would, under that count, folks, I would be looking for up in here. 618, here's 100%, 63.46. That's quite the boost. And that, I believe, is what could begin our new year. So, and then we reach that all-time high, and then we get minute 5, minor 5, intermediate 3. I'm not at that point yet, but I'm just kind of looking at where the market now wants to pin for the end of the year. And that's 6,055. That's pretty much, I'm looking pretty strongly at that level. They might go above it, they might go below it, but they're going to end up at it, I believe, on the 31st. And then we'll go from that to what then comes next. Because again, seasonally, we get the bounce, but it's not likely going to last. And I think that once all of everything settles out, that we could resume a correction, which I believe is underway. So now whether that then takes longer moving into 2025, into that almost to the first quarter, let's say, because again, if we are really coming down in or we are within an intermediate fourth wave, right? So let me just kind of bring this back over and kind of open it. Let me just get this cleaned up. I can do it this way. That we're inside this and that we're inside this minor A wave. So don't forget, intermediate wave 4 will consist of a minor A, B, C. Well, if A ends up being 3, 3, 5. Then B is going to be ABC, and C will be a five ways, but we're not really going to be looking. We may, I would think, get ourselves below this low, but it could be setting up to just have this long, extended sideways corrective action, which just really lays out a path for the incoming intermediate fifth wave. I'll go into more detail with that as we get towards year end and we have a lot more information in terms from the market about what this all uh, could turn into. Right now, we're just looking at for the balance of this week. So after Christmas, we'll have a full day on Thursday and a full day on Friday. I will be. Uh, I got my little monitor, my portable monitor that I can plug into my MacBook Air, which I will be taking with me. So I will be able, number one, to trade, and number two, to continue to do the updates, at least while I am away. So that's going to be Thursday and Friday of this week, and then Monday and Tuesday of next week, and then Thursday and Friday of next week as well. I will be back in the Bay Area on the 5th of January. And then again, on the 6th, we're launching our memberships. And I'm getting a lot of comments, and I really do hear you guys on, as a freebie subscriber. And I get that. I'm just hoping that maybe you'll give it a try. And part of it is because I'm adding additional information, very valuable information for trading. And I continue to really uh, put my focus on day trading or swing trading, and not so much on position trading. As you can tell, I'm there every day, and I'm coming in and out every day as a trader. So those that may still or choose that they want to learn how to day trade, well, then you might want to take a look at our teaching and coaching package, which together we put together a program, and it's called Day Trader Program. So, or day trader course. And that's going to be between Sasha and myself. Anyway, more information on that, just reverse back to the introduction to the memberships video that I posted yesterday. Now, back to the S&P. So again, I think we might get a little pullback here, but I don't think we're going to go too much further than 60.75, which is exactly where 60.74 is where the hourly 8 is sitting. And then we go up one more time. And so it could be 1, 2, and this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At the third, it was nice. It was a nice little rise. And then we come back down, maybe down to there, and then we rise up again. And so that puts us right up into this area. And that would be a very good area for this whole thing to cap off and stop. And that Thursday, Friday, then we kind of go through a little bit. We start a C wave. So uh, to determine whether it's really going to take Thursday, Friday, and then Monday, Tuesday, it very well could. It very well could. We'll have to wait and see. But it does seem to be lining up and going to keep this intermediate fourth wave count in play versus the alternate, which is puts a minute wave 3 here, minute wave 4 here, and we're doing 5 up here. Both are valid. The 5 up, in other words, if we are in minute wave 5, then I'd be looking for 63.46. And at some point, and that might not happen by year end, but it could happen at the start of the year. So we will see. Again, we'll monitor and we'll keep it up to date. Going over to the NASDAQ. NASDAQ actually led the charge today. It took a little bit for the other markets to kind of go like, all right, we'll follow, but they did. And that's the important part. In the NASDAQ, I have switched as I showed in the S&P, I also did it here. We have an A, B, and a C for minute wave A of minor wave A of intermediate wave 4. That's the full string of the count. So what we got then coming up is minuet wave A, minuet wave B of minute wave B. So we're in that C wave, and same deal, A, B, and then 1, 2, and look at that beautiful. I mean, the NASDAQ just actually, when it decides it's going to go, it just goes. Now, inside of each one of those hours, it was kind of choppy. So if you're trading options, you probably could have just left it alone and been fine. But trading the future, depending on your account size, or where you were getting in, um, you may have taken some heat on the position. But it was pretty clear that they were just going to keep moving it up. And of course, what was behind this sucker today was again Tesla, which ending up 31.68, $31.68 by the close. That was Tesla. So again, Tesla heading for 500. That's what it appears. Maybe they want that for year end. Makes sense to me. And you can always go over and look at the options and just go down and go to December 31st and look at the 500 strike and see what that open interest is. And you're going to get an idea of where they may want to pin it. Now the high in Tesla thus far is 488. So now we're what, 463? So, not all that much more. 27 more dollars. Easy when it's up 31 today. All right, so then we also saw a nice move in Apple. I think Apple wants 260 maybe by year end. So again, we can start to give it a guesstimate on where we think they're going to try to place all this stuff. NVIDIA finally getting itself back above 140, did not hold it. Did not hold it. Now a little bit lower, just under 40 as we get ready for the break for Christmas. So again, a lot of stuff still kind of going on. We're going to see what kind of goes on in that. But if I'm counting that as minute wave A, and this is going to be minute wave B of minor wave A, then we got a C wave coming down. Looking at our fibs, we have, whether we went surpass, we got outside of that one. So let me just change that and get rid of that. And I got this one, and I've got this one. And I'm really, for this one, yeah, I'll put it in just in case it happens to be the alternate. So here we have now what we've got left. So on a fib basis for the entire B wave, 786 is 22,142. We ended up closing above 22,000. We closed at 22,046. 22,142 would be 786. 100%, so in other words, where wave C would equal wave A, all sits together right here at 22,275 to 280. That is 0.882. Now, as we have been discussing, many algorithms are now programmed to go 88.2. And I think that that remains valid right now. So we have 786 at 22,142, 882%, where wave B would come in at 0.882% of wave A, and that comes in at 22,280. Now, that keeps this in a ABC flat type of a structure for minor wave A. And then we get a minor B, and then we get a minor C to complete intermediate wave 4. Same deal, by the way, if the alternate count would be that this third wave goes over here, and the minor fifth and the intermediate third gotta wait. They haven't occurred yet, so to speak. And then this A minute would be minute wave 4. Now, if that's the case, and I'm going to do the same thing, where I'm going to put up our fibs, which will go along with that, and I'm going to bring it back down to the hourly chart. I'm actually going to take, let me get this guy, and so I can go in. Nope. I got to get this guy. And I got to go in and see where all this is coming in. 618, and that's going to be in the minute. So we're getting a lot in the, yeah, we're getting a lot in this white color, so it's going to be a little bit hard to distinguish. But I'm going to put them up there. And so we've got them this way, coming up this way. So let me just take these off because these are the minute B, and that's the preferred count. But I don't want to be confusing against what else we got. This is also minute B coming up this way. And then what we have here would be if this is a minute wave 5. So what we'd be looking for is wave 5 to be equal to wave 1, and that's up at 23,237. I pause because that's a big number. But that would be moving the minute wave 3 up to here, canceling out those two, and this is minute wave 4 down here, and now we're working our way back up, and we've got 1, 2, and the third's going to extend beautifully, as it should, and under even a minute wave 5 count, then we get a 4, and then we're up here in a 5. And there's the 618, 22,376, but we're definitely going to be looking for it, if it is minute wave 5, to break that existing high, which is 22,450. Once we start breaking above that, our next level is 23,237, or somewhere in between. And again, if we're going to label this 1, 2, and then this third, and then a 4, we'll be being 1 over to 4, and we'll get all of this will fill in, if that's the case. We got to wait for more market to happen before we can determine. But I want to keep these possibilities alive because the market is giving us signals that we are going to have this Santa rally, whatever you want to call it. I prefer to call it a year-end rally, which is now gaining that strength again. So everything that happened prior to this, as I described and said at the time, was more related to the December 20th expiration than what Jerome Powell talked about. That may have been what the media, they pegged it. Oh, the market declined 1,000 points in the Dow and 800 points in the NASDAQ and 200 points in the S&P, based on Jerome Powell saying that we wouldn't get as many rate cuts as we anticipated. No. It had everything to do with the capital and the options flows coming into that December the 20th expiration. And now we're moving to the December 31st expiration. That's the next major important expiration that closes out 2024 and sets the stage for 2025, which can go either way. Okay, so coming over to here, back here in the NASDAQ, I think on starting with Globex, that would be tomorrow, late afternoon. So I think we continue to move higher. And next up would be 22,277. And then coming up in this part of the B wave, we have 22,376. That's 618. More or less be looking for that 100, which is way up there. Actually, that's if this is minute wave 4. So sorry, we got to go here and then here. We have 22,277, 22,777, and I actually like that number. And then we have way up 23,000. Now that's on a very strong push. Is it possible? All things are possible. But it really kind of would then come down into how this count starts to, and that would be that this is the 4 and we're in 5. If we're just in the C wave, well, I'm not really looking for too much more than right here. And then we're back over to this. Go right over here, down to here. We're right over to here on that guy. And then we have 786. And let me just add the other in. And I'm going to get rid of this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, because what we got left over, yeah, we went through that, is 0.882. And these, again, are all going to be in this minute color. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to distinguish it this way, just so that you can know. I'm putting them in this light blue color. And the reason is because I want to get them away from, these are all in the minute of varying degrees. So these would be for what we're considering minute wave B of minor wave A of intermediate wave 4. So it's B and then a C for minor wave A. So those we have 786 at 22,141, 882 right there, 22,279 coming right in on top of each other. So we got the 100% for C, the 882% for the B, and it all kind of starts to come together. So that's where I'm still going to hang my hat for right now. And then we come down in the C wave with a minor A, we go back up in a minor B, and then come back down in a minor C and finish this 4th wave and still have a really strong shot of getting it down into here. So let's see how we finish out this week after the holiday and how we set ourselves up going into next week before the holiday. And that's going to be it for today. Again, let me just take a double look here to see. I don't think we really have any numbers coming out. Thursday, initial jobless claims. That's about it. And then Friday, advanced U.S. trade balance in goods and retail inventories and wholesale inventories also on Friday. So not much to give the market any type of indication for direction. But I do think the rally continues. We're going to leave it that way. I think at least on Thursday and Friday, we're going to continue to rally. We will have, I think the increase in volatility is going to remain. And we'll see. We'll see how all that goes because I think we had a lot of risk on coming back into the market today. Now, whether that's just for year end, I don't know. But I saw risk on being really brought back in, and particularly in Tesla and in Apple. All right. So that is going to be it for today. Again, I'm wishing everybody very safe and happy holidays. It's a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Kwanzaa, depending on Kwanzaa, whichever you celebrate. I want you to celebrate and enjoy being with family and friends. And that I want to thank you for your time and joining me over this past year in with all of my updates. And I love all of the additions to these ongoing conversations. And so that part I'd like to continue. So I'm hoping that a lot of you guys are going to come and join me on the travel with memberships. A lot more information coming in. So that should be helpful. All right. Have a very, very Merry Christmas. Have a happy holiday and be safe. The next daily update will be on Thursday, December the 26th.